morning, genealogy addicts and friends. I have something exciting that I wanted to share with you this morning, and I just couldn't wait to do it. So I've been slowly and surely working on a new blog series about my second great grandma, Pauline Ilg. And her story is a story that it's been on my heart to really share with everybody, because her life has just been so hard and challenging that she deserves to be remembered. And in the process of doing all this research, I've also researched her husband, my second great grandfather, Frank Ilg. And I don't want to spoil anything from the story, but I'm going to try to give you a little bit of information. I was given the family date book back when I first got started into genealogy, and it mentioned the death of Frank Ilg and the fact that it was an accident. And so my grandma was still alive at the time, and I'm so blessed for that. And she actually was able to tell me a little bit of the story of how he died, just from it being passed down. And she told me that it was from some tragic accident at his work, that two men, him and another man, were working on a piece of machinery that required two people. And the other man slipped, and it caused the piece of equipment, whatever it was, to fall, and it fractured Frank's skull. And I did find the burial certificate that actually did say it fractured his skull, and that's actually how he died. And I really wanted to find out if there was any more information on this. You know, newspapers are really good about sharing stories and getting out there what's going on in the neighborhood, but unfortunately, the Carondelet Historical Society is missing the one reel that would have that newspaper article on it. So talk about Murphy's Law of genealogy, right? So I tried scouring other newspapers, and I couldn't find anything for years. And, you know, I started genealogy back in 2012. I've been researching this since 2012. Well, here I am writing Grandma Pauline's blogs in the series, which is going to start coming out on Thursday, March the 5th. So I'll provide a link in the description below for her blog series that's going to be started, and I'll explain more about that in a minute. But I was trying to collect all my sources, put them together, so I'm writing this, and I decided once more to check the newspapers and see if maybe something had come online. You know, you hear that quite often, that you should check back all the time, because newspapers are being transcribed all the time. New documents are always being added, and would you believe, a newspaper article finally showed up about the incident. I don't really want to show it to you guys yet, but I'm going to, as a little spoiler, because it's part of my blogs. But here is the newspaper article. Injured by a slipping windlass. Two men narrowly escaped serious results owing to the slipping of a windlass at the elevator in the Provident Chemical Works in Carondelet last night, and one of the men injured may die. About 9:30 p.m., Frank Ilg and Thomas Dax were lowering barrels from the second to the first floor of the works at number 811 South 8th Street, with Dax nearest the elevator windlass. His hands slipped, and as he lost control of the lever, the crank handle flew around with rapid speed and struck Ilg in the head and Dax on the arm. Ilg was taken to the Alexian Brothers Hospital, where it was found that he had sustained a compound fracture of the skull. His home is at 8127 South 17th Street. All of these years later, and I finally find an article that mentions the accident. And it's not that I doubted my grandma or what had happened, but it's important to have more sources to collaborate your story. Because, you know, stories can get passed down, and like the telephone game, it can be all, excuse me, it can be all jumbled up, it can be mixed up, it can be wrong. So just to find this, though, was so exciting. Now, I haven't been able to find the actual newspaper article that mentions his death, because he did die from these injuries. But to find this article, oh my gosh, I was so thrilled. So it will be part of the new blog series that I'm going to be releasing very soon, as I mentioned. It's going to be Pauline Ilg's story, and it's going to be divided up into different blog posts. That's why it's a blog series, kind of like chapters, because it's so long that I couldn't put it all together in one long post. So it's divided up, and it will be released a couple times a week through March, up until the date of when she passed away, and that will be when the last post is revealed. So I hope you will go over to my blog. I'll put the link in the description below, and you will read her story as it becomes available and take the journey through her life, her challenging and tragic life, and how it proved to me that she is a very strong and brave woman, and to know that I have that same blood flowing through me is just incredible. So again, I just wanted to share this with you. I was so excited, and I do hope you will tune in soon to my blog whenever the posts become available. So happy hunting, and we'll see you later.